welcome to the Introduction to Foot Reflexology. I'm Kalinda Trifo. In this video, we are going to cover what is reflexology, how does it work, what does reflexology help, what it's like to be a reflexology therapist, the perks of knowing how to use reflexology. I'm going to go into a little bit of reflexology research that's happening right now, and how to get certified. What exactly is reflexology? Well, it's the study of reflexes. Reflexology therapists press on reflexes in the hands, feet, ear, face, and those reflexes map to other parts, glands, and organs of the body. So through the application of the pressure on those reflexes, it encourages the body to relieve tension, improve circulation, and support the body's effort to function optimally. Now, Eunice Ingham, lady in this picture, is actually the mother of reflexology. She's the one that coined the term. She worked with medical doctors to convince them of the value of reflexology, and she made major contributions, including discovering that alternating pressure on a certain point stimulated healing rather than having a numbing effect. So she took her work to lay people so that they could learn proper techniques to help themselves and their families. Who actually invented reflexology? Well, no one can claim to have invented reflexology. It's just been rediscovered. There's been traces of footwork dating back thousands of years. And when people started wearing shoes in the 1880s, the reflexes on the bottom of our feet were stimulated less because they lost contact with the earth. So a reflexology therapist, we do not diagnose, we do not prescribe, we do not treat for specific conditions, and we do not use machines or instruments that we're not trained to use. How does reflexology actually work? Well, the body is mapped. So if you look at reflexology charts, you can see different parts of the body that are mapped to the reflexes on the different body parts. A reflexology therapist understands where the reflexes are mapped, and by stimulating those, it sends messages to the brain. When all body parts are communicating with each other, things just seem to work better. So one of the best examples I can think of is, when you go to the doctor and they tap on the knee and the foot kind of moves out, well, that's a reflex. The reflexology therapist, when they're working with the feet, it kind of stimulates the same. It's just that it's not such an obvious reaction. Three main benefits of reflexology. It promotes relaxation and releases stress, improves lymphatic cardiovascular circulation, drainage, and elimination, and it's believed to maintain and reestablish homeostasis. We get that from feedback from the clients when they just feel better after a session. So when a reflexology therapist is doing a session, the pressure should always be the same. We usually rate it between a 0.5, 0.10, and the goal is not to cause pain, it's to relieve stress. But what happens is when a reflex gets cranky, it can feel like we've increased pressure when in fact it's just the reflex that's got an imbalance. Factors affecting tenderness. Well, it can be stress, physical, emotional, or mental. There could be an injury or trauma, surgery. So if you are scheduled for surgery and you have a reflexology session, it's important to let the reflexology therapist know, because a lot of times when you're going under anesthetic, the doctors, they make sure that you have blood work and your medication and everything being used in the surgery to sedate you is measured by that blood work. And reflexology, if it increases circulation, it might change that. So you don't want to have a reflexology session after you've had your blood work done for surgery. Post-surgery, your body's releasing a lot of toxins. So when it comes to doing reflexology sessions, pressure has to be extremely light, and just wait a couple of days is what I recommend. It's just to let the body recover a little bit and get rid of some of the toxins before having a session. Medication, when you have medication, what happens is it can numb the reflexes or it can increase sensitivity. So if you have painkillers, you might not feel the reflex, whereas if you didn't have any medication in the body. Level of wellness, your age, phantom limb, footwear. A lot of people, when they wear high heels, will find that the feet are super sensitive. Same thing happens in like steel-toed shoes or flip-flops. Anything that is not supportive footwear can increase the tension in the feet. And of course, if you're feeling fatigued or are lacking sleep. Now, lighter sessions are required for very young, elderly, very ill, pregnant, pre-surgery, post-surgery, heart patients, and diabetics. After having a reflexology session, there are cleansing responses that can happen. And it's just because the body's detoxifying. I usually say it's kind of like going to a lake. When you go to a lake and there's the water and then you can see the sand in the bottom. If I go in with a stick and I shake up all the sand, it puts it into the water and it takes a while for it to settle. Well, kind of the same thing when you're doing reflexology. You're taking all the toxins that have settled in the extremities, pushing them back into the bloodstream in order for them to be eliminated. So it's important to drink a lot of water, and it's important to be gentle with yourself after a session, because your body's is just busy cleaning out all of the toxins. So how often should you have a reflexology session? Well, it depends. If you have acute conditions, you don't want to have reflexology sessions more than every 24 to 48 hours, because, like I just finished stating, you want the body to have enough time to release any of the toxins, right? You want to be able to drink water, rest. If you have a chronic condition, it's recommended to have one session a week. If you are just using it for maintenance, it can be once a month. Some clients come once a year, once every 2 years. It's you're the boss. So you decide how often you feel like you need them, but those are the recommendations. So if you are getting reflexology sessions and you don't see any improvement after 12 sessions, we always refer to another modality. It's always up to the client how often the sessions will take place. So a lot of times when I see clients, I wouldn't leave it for 12 sessions if there's absolutely nothing. There has to be some kind of improvement. Like if we rate your pain on a scale of 1 to 10, and it's a 10 when you're coming to see me, well, if it hasn't moved down to an 8 after 2, 3, 4 sessions, depending on what's going on, I mean, I would recommend you a lot sooner. Sometimes people just enjoy it for relaxation because it's relaxing, right? So there's that too. It's totally up to you what the goals are with the treatment. What does reflexology help? How many people do you know with aches and pains? And so reflexology is connected to all parts, glands, and organs of the body. And its goal is to help restore balance, specifically with the 9 body system. The human body, we have got the nervous system, the endocrine system, which is like all the chemicals in the body, cardiovascular system, that's the heart, respiratory system, that's the breath, musculoskeletal system, that's our bones and muscles, reproductive system, that's how we reproduce, digestive system, that's how the body manages our food, your immune and lymphatic system, how it wards off viruses, and the urinary system. Anything with those 9 systems is what reflexology has got parts related to. So the reflexes that we use are to balance those 9 body systems. It's to restore homeostasis, balance. So reflexology is like a mediator, getting all body systems to work together in harmony. It helps to shift from fight and flight, which is the stress response, to rest and repair. It encourages the body to relax, encourages the body to increase circulation, and it encourages the body to reduce stress. The one thing I do not do is teach people how to rub feet. That just drives me crazy. There's a specific sequence to follow, and of course I do teach that with every client. But the anatomy and the physiology portion of the course is when you understand that, you understand how the body works holistically. And each session can be customized for clients because we're all 1 in 8 billion people. And let's face it, what works for one doesn't work for another. So when you really understand how the body systems work, you're able to pay more attention to specific reflexes in those body systems. And so that it's able to help that client's body restore its normal function, right? If you're just running through the motions of just doing the same thing that you always do, kind of like an assembly line, yes, it works all the reflexes, but there isn't specific focus on the body systems that cause a problem. So let's just say that you went to the doctor and the doctor came back and said, okay, you have got high blood pressure. All right. So high blood pressure primarily is from the cardiovascular system, right? It's the blood, it's the heart. So if I know that you have high blood pressure, yes, I'm going to do a reflexology session like I always do. But when I get to the cardiovascular reflexes, I'm just going to pause. And if there's any extra tension, or if the reflexes are more tender, I'm likely going to spend a little bit more time on those spots, working them to encourage the body to relax with the cardiovascular system. If it's a diet thing, it might be digestion, right? So I would spend a little bit more time focused on the digestive reflexes just while I'm going through the reflexology session, the same as I would for anyone else. It's focusing on the spots that are more stressed in your body. When you know anatomy, that becomes possible. If you don't know anatomy, well, you're rubbing feet because it's just doing the same thing over and over. There isn't going to be any extra focus on the reflexes attached to the systems that may be stressed in your body. So when you take the time to be able to customize the sessions for each client, that's not treating for specific conditions. It's just knowing where the imbalances are in the body so that your body can relax, right? The body is the one that does all the work. And when you do that, amazing things can happen. And I don't know how to put into words what it feels like to help a friend who has been given a terminal diagnosis with only a limited amount of time to live and can't get treatment because her body isn't strong enough. That friend lived for 18 months feeling great until the last few months with many wins to celebrate. And I don't take that for granted ever. It's also amazing to be able to share the skill of reflexology therapists with others, and so that they can experience what it's like to help people. In this specific case, this student actually helped someone that had been struggling with the reproductive system and getting pregnant, and just helping the body to relax. The client was able to get pregnant after her session. There's lots of students with lots of stories. I've trained hundreds now, and it just never gets old being able to hear the amazing stories, and clients report that they feel like they had a better sleep, just all around feel better. What is it like to be a reflexology therapist? Other than amazing? Well, I've got a lot of stories that I can share, but nothing is more rewarding than hearing the stories from the students. It's a blessing to know that there's lots of people with a passion to help others feel better. And by keeping our two thumbs up, we help our clients feel better, and that's an absolute blessing. The other perks are you get to create your own schedule. You don't have any coworkers unless you work in a clinic, and it's just you and your amazing clients. You decide when you're able to work. Your office is a sanctuary set up exactly how you like it. It's a place where worries melt, and you can start your day and end your day whenever you want. You get to earn back some of the tuition before you even get your certificate. So what are the perks of knowing reflexology? Number one, you can help yourself. You can give a treatment and get a treatment. So you've got reflexes in your thumb. Clients have reflexes in their feet or their hands or their ears. And when you are working on the client, you're stimulating the reflexes in your hands. And so you're actually getting a treatment while you're giving a treatment. There's exciting things happening in the world of reflexology with the research. There's testing being done with, I believe it's an MRI. They're doing reflexology sessions on clients while they're going through the imaging, and they're taking pictures of the brain as the feet are being worked on. And I think there's 87,000 images, I think, that have been taken, and they're starting to do research on it. And one of the things that they have reported so far is that when the reflexes are stimulated in the feet, the message goes to the brain almost instantaneously. So it's starting to have evidence that the signals to the brain are being impacted when clients are having a reflexology session, which I think is pretty cool. And it's giving more credibility to reflexology, and that's been building for the past few decades as well. So who recognizes reflexology? Well, it's recognized by group plans that include reflexology. So clients that come to you can actually get reimbursed as long as you're in good standing with a membership that provides receipts that includes reflexology. So for example, this course is recognized by the Reflexology Association of Canada. When you get your certificate, you can take it, apply to the Reflexology Association, challenge a board exam, and you can get your RCRT status when you pass that challenged exam. With an RCRT status, you get a number. That number gets put onto your receipts. And with that receipt, if the client has coverage with reflexology, they're going to get reimbursed for their session. But you have to be an active member with RAC. You have to have an RCRT status to do it. And the client's group plan has to be reflexology. It's not massage. It has to be reflexology. So the Reflexology Association in Canada was founded in 1976. They're the ones that own the RCRT trademark. This specific course with me is recognized with MTAS, which is the Massage Therapist Association of Saskatchewan, and CIMOTA, which is a massage therapy and osteo, I believe, association in Alberta. So if you have any questions, I encourage you to book a call with me. I am open to taking calls, or you can email me as well at reflexology@calindatrifo.com. So for those wondering how to get certified, well, it all starts with understanding the theory. This is the anatomy and physiology that I talked about a little bit earlier. It's core reflexology is what it's called. And this training, the anatomy, physiology, theory, is a prerequisite for all the practical reflexology courses that I teach. So in core, when I used to teach core live, it took, I taught it in a weekend. I would give the students a break for a month. They would come back and they would write the exam. Sometimes I would give them 3 months to study, just because if you haven't been studying for a long time, some people get nervous or whatever the case may be. Life gets in the way. So on average, I gauge it as a 3 months course. You can work at it at your own pace. I have limited enrollment, and you're going to receive a physical manual for it. Now, in order to complete core reflexology, you're going to have to write a written exam. All of this can be done online. I've got ways to work it for the written exam, so it's legit. I'm there with you. Even if you're on the other side of the country, it's all good. We got technology and I use it to make sure that you're able to complete it without having to incur travel costs to get to me, which is in Regina, Saskatchewan most times. So after you are completed the theory, you can move on to practical reflexology training. The prerequisite for this, you have to do core reflexology first. This is a 12-month course and registration is limited and based on student demand to accommodate exams and reviews. So I open this course up a couple of times a year. The reason is the certification steps are all kind of done as a group. There's a couple of different dates that you can choose from your exams and your reviews. And the training is all online, so you don't have to worry about missing any of the dates except for the exams. You need to fit into an exam date, but for the most part, you go through the materials at your own pace, and so that you can be ready for the dates that you've chosen for your exams and reviews. When it comes to exams and reviews, there are several dates to choose from. It's just, like I said, done in a group, except for the practical. Practical is just you and me. So because I teach right across Canada, I have to make sure I have enough time for every student. And that's why I restrict the number of students that I put through at one time. For a very limited time, the all-in-one, so you can actually take the theory and the practical in one course. This course is being discontinued. As long as there's manuals left, you can still sneak in, you can still claim a spot. When they're gone, the course is gone. That doesn't mean that you're going to lose access to the training. That will live. And what will happen is any of the students that are currently going through Core plus Foot, they'll be grandfathered in, plus get access to the individual course trainings. So you'll get the best of both worlds, essentially, if you choose the all-in-one. There is also a private Facebook group for support. So all the students hang out, ask questions. It's a very supportive environment. We celebrate your wins. If I have anything new that I want to share, I pop in and I share that with you. And then you get to ask questions. You get to meet other reflexology therapists across Canada. There has been lasting friendships made. I think it's super cool. You also get access to the Foot Core student portal. If you go to my website, www.calindatruffaut.com, and you go to reflexology courses student login, you are actually going to see, you're going to get your own private login. And then what it looks like inside is there's modules that go for all the training in the book. So you work through all of this. Like I said, there's live Q&A that I currently have for the all-in-one group. You would get access to those. So you just show up and you ask. These are not going to go away. They will exist in the core and the practical training as well. It's just right now with all-in-one, this is the link that you can join. You can show up, ask anything that you got. What happens when you register? Well, you are going to get all of this. So if you register with the all-in-one course, there's a different manual that includes the core plus the foot right here. You're going to get this manual. But if you just take core, then you're going to get this manual until you are done the written exam. And then when you register for foot, you're going to get a different manual. And it's, you'll also get the chart and the sequence sheet when you register for that. We are going to celebrate wins. I have a little Bitmoji that comes in and celebrates absolutely everything inside the Facebook group. There's a new platform going to be coming, so people that absolutely cannot stand Facebook will be able to join in the fun. There will be a community in there that's in the works for later in 2024. There's lots of testimonials of students that have taken the course. Most of them are available on my website, and it's just a blessing to be able to share such a gift of a skill with so many others. So like I said, if you have any questions, you're always welcome to book a call with me. I'll meet you on Zoom. And thanks for attending today.